Don't let anyone take you for granted. Make them pay the price. People only truly appreciate what they fear losing. They take for granted what's always available. Right now, there's someone in your life who thinks they can treat you however they want, just because you're always there. They've gotten comfortable with your kindness, mistaken your patience for weakness. They don't see the value of your loyalty because, unintentionally, you've made them believe they don't have to earn it. But that ends today. No more excuses. No more hoping they'll change. If they haven't realized your worth by now, they don't deserve another second of your time. Think about it. Imagine going to a restaurant every week. You're polite, you tip well, but the staff still serves you cold food with a terrible attitude, like they're doing you a favor. And yet, you keep going back, paying full price. Do you think they'll suddenly start treating you better? They'll just assume you'll accept anything. That's exactly how people treat you when you settle for less than you deserve. And then you wonder, why don't they respect me? Why don't they text back? Why do they only show up when it's convenient for them? Because they've never feared losing you. They know that no matter how badly they treat you, you'll still be there, waiting. But here's the truth. They already see your worth. They just don't care. Why? Because you've made everything too easy. You've given them your heart, your time, your energy, without asking for anything in return. You've become their backup plan, their safety net, their emotional cushion. And when someone feels too comfortable with your presence, they stop valuing it. So what happens if you take that comfort away? What if you stop reaching out first? What if you stop accepting half-hearted efforts? What if you stop being their emotional doormat? One day they'll wake up and realize your energy, gone. Your presence, disappeared. Your warmth, support, and loyalty, no longer theirs to take for granted. And that's when it will hit them, not because of your words, not because of a dramatic speech, not because of a warning text, but because of your silence, because of your absence, because of your success. People don't regret losing you when you cry. They regret it when they see you thriving without them, when they realize they lost a version of you they can never get back, and by then it's too late. But this isn't about them. This is about you. This is about waking up and refusing to let anyone undermine your worth. Here's a truth you need to accept. The only reason they've been able to take you for granted is because you allowed them to. And today, that stops. No more explaining yourself. No more proving your worth. No more begging for the bare minimum from people who don't deserve you. And most importantly, never give anyone a second chance to take you for granted again. Speak up. Own your power. Live in a way that no one dares to overlook your presence ever again. Let's make sure no one ever underestimates you again. 1. Stop trying so hard. They won't appreciate what comes too easily. The more you chase, the further they run. The more you give, the less they appreciate. The harder you try, the easier it is for them to ignore you. Let that sink in. Because right now, someone in your life believes you'll always be available, always understanding, always trying to prove your worth, and you let them believe that. You've exhausted yourself just to be noticed. You've sacrificed your peace just to be chosen. And what has that gotten you? Nothing but disappointment. They only value what they have to earn. Imagine an auction. A rare, valuable item is up for bidding. The price keeps rising because everyone wants it. But suddenly, the auctioneer stops and says, "Wait, we're giving this away for free." What happens? The bidders lose interest. They step back because now the item looks cheap. It's no longer worth anything because they didn't have to work for it. That's exactly how people treat you when you keep giving without requiring anything in return. The moment you stop making them earn your time, your energy, your love, that's the moment they stop valuing it. And yet, here you are, still asking, why don't they appreciate me? Let's be brutally honest. You made it too easy. You gave away your loyalty like a free trial. You offered them the patience of a saint, the consistency of a life partner, the dedication of a warrior, all while they gave you barely anything. And deep down, you know it, you feel it, but you ignored that feeling because somewhere along the way you were taught a lie. A lie that love is sacrifice, that if you just try a little harder, give a little more, prove yourself just a bit more, one day they'll wake up and finally love you the way you deserve. But here's the truth. If someone needs you to prove your worth, they never truly saw it in the first place. The harder you try, the less they respect you. Tell me this. When has trying harder ever worked? When has your sacrifice made them stay? When has forgiving them for the 100th time made them appreciate you? When has lowering your standards ever earned you respect? Here's a truth society doesn't want you to know. The more you try, the less they respect you. Not just in love, but in every aspect of life. We don't appreciate what's handed to us for free. We value what we have to work for. Look at people who win money easily. Most of them lose millions because they never had to earn it. Look at employees who get promotions through connections rather than skill. They take their position for granted. And now, look at you. Look at how you're being treated by someone who never had to work to earn your love. You think giving more will fix everything. You believe that if you keep proving your worth, they'll finally realize what they have. But wake up. You're pouring yourself into someone who isn't even trying for you. You're exhausted, wondering why they can't see your value, when the real question is, why are you still trying to make them see it? The truth is, you were always good enough. But because you were always there, they never had to try. And that's your mistake. You gave them lifelong loyalty while they put in the effort of a stranger. You were always the one texting first, always the one picking up the phone, always the one fighting to stay in their life, while they never lifted a finger to keep you in theirs. You taught them that no matter what they did, you'd still be there. And now they don't appreciate you because they never had to earn you. They never had to rise to meet your standards because you lowered yourself to fit theirs. And now you're the one paying the price. But that ends today. Don't fear losing them. Let them feel the loss. Are you afraid of what will happen if you stop trying and they leave? Let them leave. Let them experience life without your energy, without your support, without the privilege of having you around. Because yes, it is a privilege. If they couldn't see it while you were there, they don't deserve to realize it once you're gone. Never think that walking away is weakness. It's the strongest thing you can do. It makes you the one thing they never expected, something they can't have anymore. It makes you a mystery again. And trust me, nothing haunts people more than losing something they once thought they'd always have. So what do you do now? Now you rise. You stop chasing. You stop explaining. You stop justifying why you deserve respect. You stop applying for a position in someone's life when they never even opened the door for you. You stop convincing someone to choose you because the right person will never need convincing. Because real love, real respect, real connection should never require you to lose yourself just to be seen. And if someone only realizes your worth after you walk away, that only proves they never deserved you in the first place. You have a choice. You can keep running on this endless hamster wheel, exhausting yourself, hoping that one day they'll appreciate you. Or you can step off, walk away, and finally become the strongest version of yourself. A version that no one, and I mean no one, will ever take for granted again. And if you're ready, say this with me. I will no longer prove my worth to anyone who cannot already see it. Write it in the comments. Say it out loud, because from this moment on, you will never let anyone make you feel small again. Stay with me. We're just getting started. 2. Silence is the only answer they understand. Silence is not empty. Silence is full of answers. Let that sink in. Right now, you're talking too much, explaining too much, repeating yourself, hoping they'll finally hear you. You're begging for basic decency. You're pleading for respect. You're justifying why you deserve to be treated better. And what has that gotten you? Ignored, dismissed, overlooked. Because here's the harsh truth. People don't hear words. They feel absence. They don't understand long texts. They don't understand heart-to-heart conversations. They don't understand the pain in your voice when you're explaining again and again why their actions hurt you. But what do they understand? Silence. When you go quiet, when you stop reaching out, when you disappear without a word, that's when they finally notice. That's when they finally feel the weight of losing you. They won't notice until you're gone. Imagine a radio that never stops playing. At first you listen, you enjoy the music, but over time it becomes background noise. It's always there, so you stop paying attention. But what happens when it suddenly turns off, when the static disappears, when all that's left is a deafening silence? Now you notice, now you feel the emptiness, now you wonder what happened. That's exactly how people treat you. When you're always there, always explaining, always trying to fix things. They tune you out. They assume your presence is permanent. They assume your love is unconditional. They assume they can keep doing the bare minimum and still have access to your heart. But the moment you stop talking, the moment you stop showing up, the moment you vanish, that's when they finally feel the loss. Because people don't appreciate consistency. They appreciate scarcity. They don't value the one who stays no matter what. They value the one who can leave at any moment. Why do you keep explaining yourself? Every time you explain why you're upset, every time you try to make them understand how much they've hurt you, every time you write those long emotional texts hoping this time will be different, you're making a mistake, because someone who truly cares about you wouldn't need an essay to realize they hurt you. Someone who truly values you wouldn't need to be convinced to treat you better. But that's not what you've been taught. You've been taught to fight for love. You've been taught to fix broken people. You've been taught that if you just explain yourself well enough, they'll finally understand. But let me ask you this. How many times have you explained yourself already? How many times have you tried to make them see your worth? How many times have they actually changed? Exactly, because words don't teach people lessons. Loss does. Your words won't teach them. Loss will. Right now you're thinking, one more conversation, one more explanation, one more emotional speech will change everything. But tell me, has it worked so far? All your words, all your pleading, all your explanations, have they made them love you more, respect you more, appreciate you more? Number. Because words don't change people. Regret does. And from now on, you won't teach them with words anymore. You'll teach them with silence. Teach them with silence. Do you want to know why silence is so powerful? Because it forces them to sit with themselves. It forces them to fill in the blanks. It forces them to question. They expect you to react. They expect you to break. They expect you to chase them like you always have. And when you don't, when you simply walk away without a warning, without an explanation, without a final speech, they get confused because now they have no control. They don't have your reassurance. They don't know what's going on in your mind. And trust me, Nothing haunts people more than the unknown. Watch what happens when you go silent. Have you noticed? The moment you stop texting, stop calling, stop responding, suddenly they're watching your stories, liking your posts, sending vague signals, breadcrumbs, to see if you'll take the bait. But that's not love. That's ego. That's the moment they realize they're no longer the center of your world. They panic. Not because they lost you, but because they lost their power over you. But here's the most dangerous part. If you break now, if you reply, if you give them the reaction they're waiting for, you lose. The second they see you're still there, still waiting, still emotionally tied to them, they'll relax again. They'll pull away again because they know they still have you. You're still an option. And you? You just reset yourself to square one. Don't let your silence turn into waiting. Don't answer, "How have you been?" Don't fall for "I miss you." Don't break your silence just because you feel guilty. Because silence is not waiting. It's awakening. It's the moment you realize you were never the problem. The real problem was trying to explain your worth instead of letting them feel it. You don't need closure. You don't need validation. You don't need one final conversation. You just need to walk away. Because if someone truly valued you, they would have shown it while they had you. Not after you went silent. Not after you disappeared. And if your silence is what makes them see your worth, that's their burden to carry, not yours. So what do you do now? Now, you disappear. No warning, no explanation, no dramatic goodbye, just silence. Let them sit in the emptiness they created. Let them wonder. Let them regret. And while they're busy questioning everything, you move forward, because by the time they realize what they lost, you'll be too far gone to turn back. Say it with me. My silence is my power. Drop it in the comments. Write it down. Say it out loud. Because from now on, when someone loses you, they will feel it. Third level up without announcing it. Show up, work on yourself. Come back as an unrecognizable version. Let me tell you something. People don't regret losing the one who begged. They don't lose sleep over the one who cried, who sent long messages, who sat there waiting for them to return. They regret losing the one who leveled up without them, the one who walked away and never looked back, the one who became untouchable, unstoppable, too far out of reach. So much so that by the time they realized what they had lost, they could no longer grasp it. And you, my friend, that's exactly who you are about to become. The main character energy shift. Imagine you're watching a movie. The main character is betrayed, hurt, abandoned. You expect them to crumble. You expect them to break down. You expect them to beg for mercy. But instead, they disappear. They quietly step into the shadows. And when they return, they're stronger, smarter, more powerful than ever. And the ones who underestimated them, now they're the ones trembling. That's you. That's the energy you need to step into. Because right now, someone out there thinks they've broken you. They believe you're still sitting in the same place where they left you. They think they still have control over you. And why wouldn't they? You made it easy. You gave them everything you had. You fought. You tried. You sacrificed. But now, you're silent. The power of moving in silence. You don't need to announce your comeback. You don't need to post quotes about focusing on yourself. You don't need to drop hints, hoping they'll notice. You just level up ruthlessly, because here's the truth. Real power moves in silence. People aren't afraid of what they can see. They fear what they can't predict. And when you stop being predictable, when you stop giving them the reaction they expect, When you stop making your next move obvious, you become something they can never control again. Leveling up isn't about revenge, it's about becoming unstoppable. This isn't about revenge. It's not about making them jealous. It's not about hoping they notice. This is about you, reclaiming your time, reclaiming your energy, reclaiming your power, becoming someone so undeniable that by the time they even think about coming back, they realize they don't even have a chance. So what does leveling up actually mean? 1. Reprogramming your mind. Stop replaying the past. Stop giving energy to things that drain you. Stop wasting mental space on people who wouldn't even cross the street for you. You know what's more attractive than someone who's bitter and broken? Someone with unstoppable focus. 2. Rebuilding your body. Not for them, not for some petty revenge, but for you. Train like you're creating a whole new version of yourself. Feel your strength return with every drop of sweat. Look in the mirror and see power staring back at you. Because when you feel physically strong, you become mentally unshakable. 3. Building your empire. Make money. Secure your future. Pursue every dream you once put on hold for someone who never deserved your time, because nothing, and I mean nothing, haunts people more than watching you succeed without them. And when you share your transformation, do it with quiet confidence, not in a way that says, "Look at me, I'm doing better," but in a way that says, "I don't even think about you." Because the moment they realize you're no longer seeking their attention is the moment they start paying attention. Watch what happens when you level up in silence. They will watch, they will wonder, they will question everything. And when they finally reach out, when they finally send that, "Hey, how have you been?" text, they'll realize they don't even know who you've become, because the old you, the one who waited, the one who gave too much, the one who lowered their standards, that version of you is gone, and the new you, untouchable, unstoppable, unrecognizable. So tell me, are you ready? Are you ready to step into your power? Are you ready to stop proving yourself to people who were never worthy of you in the first place? Are you ready to become so untouchable that even your past can't recognize you? Then declare it. Comment, "I am becoming unstoppable." Say it out loud. Own it. Live it. Because from this moment on, no one will ever dim your power again. 4th, stop responding to weak efforts. Every time you react to weak efforts, you teach them that the bare minimum is enough. Let that sink in. Right now, someone out there thinks they can come and go as they please. They believe they can ignore you, disappear for weeks, treat you like an afterthought, and then casually slide back in with a half-hearted, "Hey, how have you been?" and still get your attention. And the worst part? You've let them. You've rewarded their inconsistency with your energy. You've given them a place in your life that they don't deserve. You've let their weak efforts take up space in your mind. But today, that stops. Your value is not free. Imagine you own a 5-star restaurant. Your menu is exclusive. Your standards are high. People wait in line just for a chance to experience what you offer. Now, imagine someone walks in and says, "I don't want to pay, but I'll take a plate of food." What do? Do you hand them a full meal, hoping they'll appreciate it and decide to pay next time? Absolutely not. You show them the door. Because the moment you start giving things away for free, you set the expectation that your value costs nothing. And that is exactly what you're doing every time you respond to weak efforts. A lazy text, a half-hearted return, a meaningless "I miss you," a random reaction to your story just to see if you'll bite. These are not genuine gestures, These are crumbs, just enough to check if they still have access to you. Stop rewarding inconsistency. And when you respond, when you play along, when you give them a reaction, they win. Because now they know. They don't have to actually try. They don't have to be consistent. They don't have to earn you. They know you'll still be there. They know you're still waiting, still hoping, still believing that this time will be different. But here's the truth. It won't be different. If they cared, they would show it. If they respected you, they would prove it. If they truly wanted you in their life, they wouldn't give you the bare minimum and expect you to be grateful. But right now, they're not afraid of losing you. They think they still have you. And let me tell you, people only learn through consequences. They don't learn when you explain. They don't learn when you cry. They don't learn when you send long messages about how much they've hurt you. They learn when you disappear. Make them feel the loss. When they send a weak message and get nothing but silence. When they kind of miss you and get no response. When they expect you to chase after them and realize you're already gone. That's when they truly realize. And this is the moment you start to hesitate. But what if they really miss me? What if they've changed? What if they mean it this time? Number. You don't get a second chance to make a first impression. And their first impression of you was weak. It was shallow. It wasn't enough. If you respond now, you're telling them weakness is enough. Inconsistency is enough. That you'll keep accepting whatever little effort they throw your way. Are you done playing this game? Because the moment you stop responding, the moment you stop rewarding half-hearted efforts, the moment you show them that what they're bringing isn't even worth a reaction, that's when they feel the consequences. Watch what happens when you go silent. That's when they sit there staring at their phone, wondering why you haven't replied. That's when their ego takes a hit. That's when they start questioning everything. And by the time they realize, it will be too late. Because by then, you will be out of reach. And listen closely. This isn't about playing games. It's not about pretending not to care while secretly waiting for them to try harder. This is about finally recognizing your own worth and refusing to entertain anyone who doesn't meet your standards. Here's your new rule. If it's weak, it doesn't get a response. No more replying just because you feel bad. No more entertaining half-hearted people just because you're lonely. No more giving second chances to people who never deserved the first one. From now on, silence is your response. And if they truly want you, they'll prove it. Say it with me. I will not respond to weak efforts. Drop it in the comments. Say it out loud. Own it. Live it. Because from this moment on, you will never settle for less again. 5. Make them question. Everything they thought they knew about you. The moment they think they've figured you out, you've already outgrown them. Let that sink in. Right now, someone out there believes they know exactly how you'll react. They think they can predict your next move. They assume they know how many times they can hurt you before you finally walk away. They think you're predictable, and every time you chase after them when they pull away, every time you try harder when they ignore you, every time you welcome them back like nothing ever happened, you prove them right. They've gotten too comfortable. They believe they can treat you however they want and still have access to you. They assume that no matter how little they give, you'll still be there, waiting, hoping, trying to prove your worth. But that version of you is gone. Nothing shocks people more than realizing they lost you. The patterns they relied on, broken. The reactions they expected, gone. The comfort of knowing you'll always be there, vanished. Now, they have to question everything. Imagine you're watching a TV show. You think you know what's going to happen next. You've seen this storyline before. You're confident you have it all figured out. But then, the plot shifts. The character who used to beg for love, now untouchable. The one who used to wait in vain, now completely out of reach. The one who used to explain too much, love too hard, try too much, disappeared. And just like that, everything changes. That's you. Make them obsessed with your absence. You are about to become the plot twist. Right now, they think they know you. They believe they've seen every side of you. They assume you are still the same person they walked away from. But you're not. Today, you change the script. You are no longer the first one to reach out. You are no longer the only one fighting to keep them. You are no longer explaining, waiting, hoping they'll finally realize your worth. You let your absence teach them what your presence never could. And let me tell you something. Nothing haunts people more than uncertainty. The moment they don't know what's going on in your mind, the moment they can't predict your next move, the moment they realize they no longer have control over you, that's when they start to panic. Suddenly, you become a mystery. And people don't forget mysteries. They replay your last conversation in their head. They check your social media, wondering why you're no longer posting sad quotes. They ask mutual friends if you've moved on, if you're seeing someone new, if you even think about them anymore. And the scariest part for them? They don't know. They don't know if you still care. They don't know if they still have a chance. They don't know if they've ruined everything forever. And that uncertainty will eat them alive, because let's be honest, when they thought they had you, they didn't appreciate you. They didn't respect you. They didn't value you. They got lazy, thinking you would never leave. But now, they don't have that luxury anymore. Let them face the consequences. Now, they have to sit with their choices. Now they have to wonder if they just lost something irreplaceable. Now, they have to live with the fact that they miscalculated. And by the time they realize what they've lost, you'll be too far gone to look back. But listen, this isn't just about making them regret it. This is about you. This is about stepping into the most powerful version of yourself. The version that never has to prove their worth again. So what do? You disappear. You don't announce it. You don't send a long message explaining why. You simply remove yourself. You level up. You shift your energy, your focus, your attention, all back to yourself. You become a force of confidence, of strength, of undeniable power. So much so that even if they come back, they won't recognize the person you've become. Because the truth is, you were never meant to be predictable. You were never meant to be someone's backup plan. You were never meant to be taken for granted. And today, you're making sure no one ever makes that mistake again. Because from this moment forward, they will never look at you the same way again. 6. Never let them think you're waiting. The moment they believe you'll wait forever, they stop feeling the urgency to keep you. Let that sink in. Right now, someone out there is living with full confidence that no matter what they do, no matter how long they disappear, no matter how little effort they put in, you'll still be there. They think you're waiting, holding space for them like a fool in love. And the worst part? You've proven them right. You've turned down new opportunities. You've ignored potential relationships. You've sat in emotional limbo, convincing yourself that if you're patient enough, they'll finally see your worth. But they won't, because people don't rush to secure what they think will always be there. They don't fix things when they believe time is on their side. They don't fear losing you when they think you'll never actually leave. And that is why they don't change. Stop being their backup plan. Imagine you're at the airport waiting for a flight. At first, the airline tells you it's delayed for 30 minutes, then an hour, then 2 hours. But you wait, believing the flight will take off soon. But what if The airline never intended to take off. What if they know you'll sit there forever, hoping for something that isn't even real? That is exactly what they are doing to you. They are keeping you in a holding pattern, knowing you won't move on. They know that no matter how many delays, no matter how many times they disrespect you, you'll still be there, waiting for them to take you somewhere you should have already taken yourself. But today, that stops. The people who truly want you show up. They don't gamble with losing you. They don't disappear to figure things out. They don't keep you in limbo while they explore other options. They show up, they commit. They make it clear that you are a priority. And if someone treats you like an option, if they are comfortable knowing you'll always be there no matter what they do, then you have one job: make them uncomfortable. Not by begging, not by arguing, not by threatening to leave, but by actually leaving. Because nothing shakes a person more than realizing the safety net they took for granted is gone. No warning, no dramatic goodbye speech, no "where do we stand" conversations, no words, just absence, just silence. Just a complete shift in your energy. Never let them think they can come back. The moment you stop waiting, they start feeling the loss. They wonder why you're no longer there. They question what changed, what happened, what made you finally see your worth. And for the first time, they feel exactly what you felt for far too long. Uncertainty. They once believed you would always be available. They thought they had all the time in the world. They assumed they could give you the bare minimum and still keep you. But now they don't know. And that unknown will destroy them. Because when they were certain about you, they didn't respect you. They didn't appreciate you. They didn't treat your presence as a privilege. But when you stop waiting, when you walk away without looking back, they have to face the reality that you were never guaranteed. And even if they come back, even if they text, "I miss you," even if they suddenly want to talk, even if they try to slip back into your life like nothing happened, you don't let them. Because the moment you allow them to return without real effort, you confirm that your absence was only temporary, that you were still waiting, that they still have control, and just like that, they relax again. Don't let them. Let them sit with the full weight of their choices. Let them truly feel what it's like to lose someone who once gave them everything. Let them wonder if they ever really had you in the first place. Because the moment they realize they've lost you, that is the moment they regret taking you for granted. So tell me, are you done waiting? Are you really willing to put your life on hold? For someone who never even checks in on you, are you ready to choose yourself? Declare it now. I refuse to wait for anyone who left me behind. Say it, own it, live it. Because from this moment forward, no one gets to put your life on hold again. 7. Become the standard they can never reach. The only real punishment for those who took you for granted is making them realize they will never find another you. Let that sink in. Right now, someone out there still thinks you were just another option. They believe you're replaceable. They assume they'll find someone else who gives like you did, loves like you did, forgives like you did. And the scariest part? They truly believe it. They're walking away with the confidence that you'll always be there. The confidence that if they decide to come back, you'll still be waiting. The confidence that you were never one of a kind. But you are about to make sure they never find someone like you again. They thought they could replace you. They were wrong. Imagine going to a world-class restaurant, one of the best, a place with a months-long wait list, an unforgettable experience. But then they think, I'm sure I can find something just as good elsewhere. So they leave, they search, they try different places, and one by one, they realize nothing compares. Nothing has that same quality. Nothing offers that same experience. Nothing gives them that same feeling. And by the time they decide to go back, the doors are closed. The wait list is full. That place they once took for granted is now out of reach. That's you. They thought they could replace you. But now they have to live with the truth that they were wrong. They will search for you in everyone and never find you. They will search. They will go from person to person, trying to find the same love you once gave, the same energy you radiated, the same warmth you offered so freely, and for a while, they might think they've found it, until they don't. Until they realize that no one listens the way you did, no one supports them the way you did, no one understands them the way you did, and by the time they fully feel the weight of what they lost, it's too late. Because this time, you're not just moving on, you're leveling up. You're stepping into the highest, strongest, most untouchable version of yourself. The version that no longer accepts weak effort. The version that never lowers their standards again. And this time, they can't catch up. You are not an option. You are the standard. Listen to me. This isn't about revenge. It's not about making them suffer. It's not about hoping they regret it. This is about you finally realizing they were never the prize you once thought they were. Because let's be honest, if they were worthy of you, they would have cherished you when they had you, but they didn't. And that's a mistake they will never be able to undo. Because here's the cold truth. People don't regret losing someone they took for granted at first. At first, they enjoy their freedom. They distract themselves. They tell themselves, it's fine, I'll find something better. Until time passes. Until the silence gets too loud. Until they're lying next to someone who can't make them feel the way you did. And that's when it hits them. They replay every moment. They remember every conversation. They think about every little detail they never appreciated. They start asking themselves, what was I thinking? But by then, you don't even care. Because you've elevated, you've healed. You've built a life so beautiful, so full, that their regret is nothing but background noise. So tell me, are you done being someone they think they can replace? Are you done entertaining people who don't even deserve a seat at your table? Then declare it now. I am the standard. Live it. Own it. Breathe it. Be it. Because from this moment forward, no one will ever dare take you for granted again. 8. Never go back, even if they beg. If they had to lose you to see your worth, they never truly valued you in the first place. Read that again. Let it sink in. Right now, someone will come back, but not because they've changed. Not because they suddenly recognize your worth. Not because they finally see that you were the best thing that ever happened to them. They're coming back because they've lost control. They're coming back because their ego is bruised. They're coming back because they once believed you'd always be there. And now, you're not. And you're about to make one of the biggest mistakes of your life if you let them back in. Because the moment you do, you confirm that losing you was never a real consequence. They don't miss you. They miss what you allowed. Imagine working for a company that underpays you, overworks you, and never appreciates you. Eventually you quit. You find something better. You grow. But suddenly, that old company calls. We need you. Things will be different. Now we see your value. But the truth is, they don't miss you. They miss how you sacrificed for them. They miss how you tolerated what no one else would. They miss how they could take from you without giving anything in return. And the moment you say yes, they relax. Because now they know. They know they can treat you as an option. They know they can disappear whenever they want. They know they can neglect you, disrespect you, and come back without any real loss. because you will always take them back. And that is the fastest way to destroy your own value. If you let them return, you erase everything you built. When you let them back in, you're not just opening the door for them. You're telling yourself that you were never worthy of more. You're accepting that. All the pain they caused, all the disrespect they showed, all the bare minimum they gave you was okay. And trust me, they will do it again. They will leave again. They will take you for granted again, because why wouldn't they, when you just showed them that they can? This time, the door is locked. You're smarter now. You are no longer the person who settles. You are no longer the person waiting for someone to finally see your worth. You are no longer the person who believes words over actions. Because if they truly saw your value, they wouldn't have needed to lose you to recognize it. Because if they truly loved you, they would have never risked losing you in the first place. Because if they had truly changed, you wouldn't need to wonder. They would prove it. And let's be real, if you even have to ask yourself if someone is serious about you, the answer is already clear. People don't gamble with what they value. People don't risk losing what they know is rare. People don't play games with the ones they truly love. So let me ask you, are you still waiting for them to convince you? Are you still hoping this time will be different? Are you still holding on to the idea that they finally understand what they lost? Or are you finally ready to close that door forever? Because here's the truth. If you let them back in, you erase everything you worked so hard to build. You erase your growth. You erase your strength. You erase the lesson you suffered to learn. And for what? For someone who only realized they wanted you after you no longer wanted them? Number. You're done explaining your worth. You're done proving your value. You're done letting people think they can come and go as they please. This time when they come back, they will find the door locked. And trust me, nothing haunts a person more than realizing they will never get back what they so carelessly lost. So tell me, are you ready to walk away for good? If so, declare it now. I will never go back to what broke me. Say it, own it, live it, because from this moment forward, you will never be someone's second choice again. From my perspective, a person's true value isn't found in forcing others to recognize it. You don't need to constantly prove yourself, cling to people, or sacrifice endlessly just to feel worthy. That doesn't make you more valuable. It only makes you replaceable. We aren't measured by how much we give unconditionally, but by the boundaries we set, the standards we uphold, and the half-hearted efforts we refuse to accept. If someone only realizes your worth after you're gone, that's not appreciation. That's just regret over losing control. Sometimes silence is the strongest response, not to hurt, not to punish, but to protect yourself from an exhausting, meaningless cycle. If someone truly cares, they won't put you in a position where you have to prove your worth. And if they only come back once you've walked away, that just proves they were never deserving of you in the first place. In short, you are not an option. You are the standard. We've already talked about this. Your worth should never be defined by endless patience or limitless sacrifice. When you keep giving without demanding respect, you teach others to take you for granted. Because let's be honest, people don't value what comes too easily. The more you chase, the more ordinary you become in their eyes. If someone truly values you, they won't put you in a position where you have to prove your worth. But if you keep tolerating, keep sacrificing, keep accepting less than you deserve, you turn yourself into an option, not a priority. So what should you do? Silence. Not waiting, not begging, but a powerful withdrawal. When you stop reacting to weak efforts, when you refuse to engage in mind games, You make them question everything they thought they knew about you. And that, more than any explanation, is the hardest lesson they will ever learn. You don't need to announce your transformation. You just level up, silently but powerfully. You become a version of yourself they can never reach again, and when they come back, not out of love, but because they've lost control, remember this. A door that has been slammed shut should never be reopened. Refuse to be an option in someone's world. Become the standard they can never reach. Say it with me. I am not looking back. I do not accept disrespect. I do not repeat old lessons. Don't just read these words, live by them. Let them guide you every single day. Because from this moment forward, you are no longer someone who can be walked away from without consequence, not out of revenge, not out of hatred, but because you have become stronger, more valuable, and untouchable to those who never deserved you in the first place. You have nothing to prove to anyone. Just keep growing, keep moving forward. Let them realize that losing you meant losing something irreplaceable, and that is enough. This is how you show the world that you are not someone to be taken lightly. No one will ever overlook you again. No one will ever mistreat you without feeling the weight of their loss. Now it's your turn. Leave a comment. Share your thoughts. Like this post. Subscribe to Tram Kak Kai. Send this to someone who needs to hear it. And most importantly, keep walking forward with confidence. You are not looking back. See you in the next video.